Hello and welcome to the Wednesday Preview for another week. Hayden King back joining you. Unfortunately, James Broadhurst can't be with us this week, but we've got a good weekend of chasing upcoming. We've got 2 heats of the Sandi's Me Mum, and also the culmination of that Grade 5 series over the 600 metres that we saw the heats for in the last couple of weeks. So, promises to be a good weekend of chasing. We're going to start off on the Friday though. We're going to go to Mandurah first, and it would be remiss of me not to mention the Cannington Cup last night at Mandurah, which was taken out in fine style by West on Mortar. Was able to dig up on the inside, do enough to lead there, and ran out a ready winner in the end. So congratulations to the Holst team with West on Mortar taking out that feature. Run on a Tuesday this year, but it was a crack field assembled, so West on Mortar certainly has more wins in store. Now, Friday, we're going to go to Mandurah. Race number 7's the first race we're looking at, and here, Naval Guard comes up with box number 1. Was fair last time out, is really in the midst of a baptism of fire at the moment, being thrown in the deep end with these races, and hasn't quite measured up with the best of them over the free-for-alls yet. And I speak of the best as in West on Fever, who comes up with box number 2 here. Was exceptional, running a career best time last week when winning comfortably by a space. Showed all that early pace, was able to run out a convincing winner. Good Odds Buzz was able to get off the mark in WA last time out, courtesy of a strong forward showing out of the boxes and a comfortable mid-race lead. Was gradually chipped into late in the piece, but still was able to win that contest. Now steps up again here. This is going to be much harder. Mick Flash, I guess the big question is how far back does he get in a race like this? I don't think he can give West on Fever too much of a start and still be able to reel him in, but he is a very capable dog. First time we've seen him over 405 in quite some time. No Limit Needed's going okay. Gangna Manelli, well, he actually did jump quite well last time out, but he just couldn't match them for speed thereafter, and that cost him when finishing 6th in the feature. Prior to that, he was good with 2 wins. Sozan Zazuri and Launch Control's drawn on the outside this time, so that'll help his cause in the sense that he's not going to get taken out from underneath as he was last week. So that's the free-for-all race number 7 at Mandurah on Friday. Now we're going to turn our attention over to Cannington on Saturday. Starting off with race number 5. This is the first heat of the Sandi's Me Mum Memorial, and Adzuki Manelli comes up with box number 1. Has been going fairly, Adzuki Manelli, in recent times after scoring over the 600 metres, beating Yahoo Serious recently. Box number 1 certainly helps his cause. In box number 2, Borlotti Manelli, this strong finisher, just got in a little bit of bother last time out, and as a consequence was in difficulties. Before that was a strong winner. Granite Song has been going fairly since that fall here a few runs ago. Custard Manelli, Rumbling Moment, has early speed, was just outclassed in the end by Electrified last time out, but certainly courtesy of that early dash can put himself up in the picture from the outset. Hinto is going to be thereabouts, and will be closing off strongly if things go to suit. Then Jimmy Rocks and Solidified, who went around in that final of the Cannington Cup last night and ran quite a creditable race, considering he was there to win at mid-race and then just copped a nasty check at about the 250 metres, and that put pay to his claims. West on Mortar taking advantage of that to run out a convincing winner. So that's the first heat of the Sandi's Me Mum. We'll now go over to the second heat, and here Electrified comes up with box number 1. Was imperious in winning last time out. Didn't necessarily get the best of the break, had to reel in Rumbling Moment, but was able to duck down to the inside on that first bend and just proved a class apart. Although the margin was only 3/4 of a length, it was quite a comfortable success in the sense that Electrified never seriously looked like being beaten from that position, and the winner's time was 29.69. He's a dog that's going to continue to get better, and he's going to be very hard to beat from box number 1. Rippin' Tomahawk has early dash, was able to use that to full effect last time out and win. Jimmy's Decision, just a case of him oppositely to Rippin' Tomahawk, not quite having the early dash, and he wasn't able to remain in touch last time out, and he was beginning to find his way through his gears late, but it was too late. Momentum's come back in good form, sat second on the back of the leader there at Mandurah last Friday night, and did a good job chasing. It was a hot run, and there were a couple of good performances in that race. Fava Manelli, Lupini Manelli, a couple from the Manelli Brigade, and it's worth noting that Lupini Manelli is $2.25 and a novice tonight. it's going to be an astronomical step up if he's to take out a heat of the Sandy's Me Mum on Saturday, considering he's racing in a novice tonight. It's going to be a big quantum leap, and Moment to Hustle is going to find it very hard from box number 8. So that's the second heat of the Sandy's Me Mum. Electrified certainly does look very hard to beat. Now, we'll go over to this Grade 5 final. Over the 600 metres, we had these heats not too long ago now, and it was an interesting group of them. In the first heat, we had Set Me Free, West on Comet, Rip and Grace, and It's a Dime. We're going to have a look at the replay here, and it was an interesting race in the sense it didn't turn out as I probably expected. Jumping to the front, Set Me Free was able to establish an early lead, and running into second place, West on Comet. And they were being trailed up by the powerful types It's a Dime and Rip and Grace. As they went out of the straight the first time, It's a Dime began to make notable progress up on the inside and was able to squirm through into second just behind West on Comet, and eventually Rip and Grace was able to cover that move but unable to run down It's a Dime, who ran out quite a handsome winner there late in the piece. Boxers have thrown this up in a different fashion though. It's a Dime now draws outside of Rip and Grace. Can It's a Dime get down to the fence? Can Rip and Grace get down to the fence? They're both two dogs who do like to utilise that kind of territory. In the other heat, Couch Surfer, well, he was one of the favourites heading into the series. In fact, it was $1.10 to take out his heat, and we're going to have a look at that replay now. He was box number 1 here, and he began okay, but he was beaten for a bit of early speed early in the contest. However, he was able to dig up on the inside in similar fashion to It's a Dime. Although he didn't quite have the nose in front down the back straight, he was able to press up and he was able to hold out Ben Mayo coming off the back straight. They put up a big margin on Clifton Matilda, who gradually stumbled into 4th place really, but it was a convincing win in the end for Couch Surfer, coming away to win quite nicely over Ben Mayo and then Clifton Matilda, the other qualifier out of that heat. So a couple of interesting replays there. Certainly the big 3 are going to be the winners of those heats, and then also Rip and Grace, who was dogged in second place. They probably look the chief 3, let's be honest. Set Me Free does have that early speed, so I guess if there is any bumping in behind, then Set Me Free could come into calculations. It's going to be hard work for the rest to turn the tables on some of their more favoured rivals. That's the weekend of racing. Before then, though, we've got racing here tonight at Cannington, and my best bet comes up in race number 8, Wooden Hands, number 2. Now, this dog has a big engine. If he's close enough heading into the back straight and up there on speed, then I expect him to sustain a really strong burst from about the 300 onwards, and I think he might be too strong. So, race 8, number 2, Wooden Hands, my best tonight. Hope you have a great week heading into this weekend. Sandy's Me Mum heats the highlight, and also that Grade 5 final over the 600. Looking forward to it, and I'll see you next week on the preview.